Mongo.
Afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, Mongo. Here we are at the Oklahoma State Championship of 2024. When did you start shooting?
To give you a little backstory, we were looking for something to do when we were living in Denver. Deadwood was on, the TV show was on. So we said, hey, why don't we just run up to Deadwood and see what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing something. I'm not sure what they were shooting. And I'm not sure. I told Wench, I said, I'm not sure what they're doing. They're doing something. It looks like fun.
Yeah.
So we went out and bought the equipment, started practicing a little bit. In 2004, we went back and shot the Basketball World Championship in Deadwood.
Mm-hmm.
We have two holsters, one gun, and Wench had always said she didn't like firearms. When I'd start cleaning my firearms, she'd leave the house and go to the store.
Right.
So this time around, I worked with her a little bit and told her they really aren't dangerous if you handle them right. Mm-hmm. She started doing that. So I'd shoot, I'd go clean the gun, give it to her. She'd shoot, go clean the gun, give it back to me. And that's how we got started.
Okay. And then,
that was back on when we were still shooting on the football field.
Right, in Ferguson Field in Deadwood. Absolutely. I remember it well. And so Wench told me, you know, you're the famous Mongo and Wench. And you guys traveled so much in your early years in the sport and in the formation years of the sport. You guys were there and traveling around. And when we came up with the scoring program, I found out a secret that you didn't want people to know. You actually knew quite a bit about computer programs. And so you and Wench became instrumental in helping us develop our scoring system and testing it and coming up with new ways to do it.
Well, we appreciate that. And again, we don't do it for notoriety. We did it because for the good of the sport.
Yeah.
That's what we did it for.
Well, that's why we all do it.
Yeah.
And because we love the game.
Love the game.
And so I got a funny story to share with you.
Okay.
I mentioned this in another interview, Dan, but so fastest gun alive last year. You were doing well. You got into the second day, and well into the second day. And I know that because, you know, I was in it, and you were in it, and this guy named, you know who Whitlock is, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Whitlock is one of the fastest shooters in the game. He's one of the guys that can hit consistent low threes. And he's our current national champion. Mm-hmm. And so I'm standing there with a group of the shooters from the deputies. You know, we're just talking about stuff. And then they posted the next round. And so we all go over there to see who we drew. Whitlock drew you. And he goes, damn. I said, what's the matter? What happened? He says, I drew Mongo. Here's one of the fastest shooters in the game, and he was scared to death to draw Mongo. Now, the Mongo we all know shoots from in the mid-4s into the low 5s, and you know, but you are a known hitter.
I think so. I've made my reputation and made my however far I go in a match by hitting.
Absolutely, because that's part of this game.
Yeah.
You know, it is the speed and accuracy are weighted very evenly in our game. And here's one of the national champion, one of the fastest guys in our sport, concerned because he drew Mongo. And one of the fun things about Cowboy Fast Draw is we all get our aliases.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the dream is to get your alias feared throughout the country, right? And known.
Admired.
A reputation.
Oh, feared, okay.
A reputation of a gunfighter, I guess we could call it,
That's
right?
what I consider. I'm not a speed shooter. I'm a gunfighter.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm a gunfighter.
That is exactly right. And, you know, gunfighting that we do, you know, there's no live ammo involved, but there's a lot of honor involved. There's a, you know, we call penalties on ourselves. We do all these things because when we win, we want to win with honor and you know, the code of the West, you know.
And respect.
Yes. And so I just wanted to share that with you. I didn't know if you knew that he feared you that much.
I remember Whitlock, but I never heard that story before.
Yeah, I thought you'd get a kick out of that one. But
that's kind of cool.
But no, I mean, you know, you and Wench traveled around so much. When you guys were going around doing what we call town folk alleys, now Cowboy Fast Draw, you were traveling. You bought the clown car, we called it,
Yep.
or you named it that. It was a little car that got great gas mileage. It had to, because I think you had it for 2 years. And how many miles did you put on that thing?
220,000.
220,000 in 2 years.
Yeah, two and a half, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah.
Wow.
220. I remember we went up to Shooting Island at the time, and we started to unload the gear out of the clown car.
Uh-huh.
And we didn't use the back seats; that was just storage. And everybody kept coming over and said, "You got a hole under there, or where the hell are you putting all that stuff?" And when it laid out on the ground. So when the shoot was over, we took it all up and put it back in the car, and everybody, there it was. And I said, "That's amazing that you can get that much stuff in that little car and still." And I'm 6'3",
Yeah.
still be able to climb in the front seat and drive it.
I remember, I think I was one of the guys too, come up here. How you get, and it's like, well, everything has to go in precisely the right place. You know, we packed the
Kind of
car.
like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you. And what's one of your favorite stories about the sport?
Oh man, I think one of my favorite stories about the sport was probably, well, Fastest Gun Alive, obviously. There was a couple of years in there where I was pretty good in the Fastest Gun Alive, and finished in top 15 or top 10.
That's great.
And that's always an honor when you get against that quality of shooter and be able to hit your target and get into the top half, even in the top five. Stories, I don't know, Cal, there's so many of them over the years. Like I said, we started and we saw it in 2002, started in 2004, and here we are in 2004.
2024.
2024.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we really like doing, and I know we retired from it, I love doing the classes. I like being the regulator marshal, posse marshal. I like getting that program started. And
Yes,
I know
you
that
did.
we ended up maybe on a kind of an abrupt note, but we'd spent probably 10 years or so with the regulator program up until 2018. And that got to be, as we got older, it says, we just can't quite do all the travel we used to do. We retired from that. That doesn't necessarily mean we weren't approachable and still available.
Right.
And we've still done RO classes and RM classes and all over the country. Coast to coast, border to border, actually.
Well, you and Wench did so much for the sport. You're the only two Regulators Emeritus. And we wanted to bestow that honor on you guys, because you deserve it. You're both known people in our game.
We're proud of those badges too, and we wear them often.
Well, good.
But it's been when Wench, I think I told you this, when we first started, when I'd take my guns out to clean them, Wench would leave. And it was kind of a challenge to get her to even dry fire a single action army.
Yeah.
And when she did, another story too is when we were in the very first time we went to Fastest Gun Alive, there was a gentleman there, I can't remember his name, and he said, "I got a gun for sale if you'd like to buy one." And I was looking for a gun for one. A Colt clone. And so I said, "How much do you want for it?" And he said, $350. And I said, "All I can come up with is $200. And I'm obviously not going to take the credit card. And he said, "That's okay. Here's my address. Here's my business card. There's the gun. When you get home, mail me a check." And I knew right then and there we were the right group of people.
You got a point there.
Now, when somebody that doesn't know me will let me put that down payment on a gun and then let me walk home with that gun, trusting me to send him a check, that's what told us right then and there we're in the right group of people.
I think you told me one time it was Wench decided this is what we're doing and signed you up as life members.
That's exactly right. That's why we're 57 and 58.
That's it. Hey, anyway, fun talking to you, my friend. I'll keep seeing you around the tour.
Most respect, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.